Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how God does not want you to be poor. He does not want you to be mediocre. He does not want you to be sick. He doesn't want you to be depressed. He doesn't want you to have any of these failings and problems of the world. Now, that's not to say He even wants the world to have those things, but they get those things by reaping what they've sown. Now, you may say, well, why do professing Christians have this? They have all these problems in their lives. Why is that if God doesn't want them to have it? See, many people have this mentality that whatever happens is God's will, and if God really wanted you to be in a certain way, then you would be that way regardless. But God designed us, created us to be in His image and likeness. He created us to make decisions for our own lives, good or bad. And with that decision-making ability, the creative power that we have given to us by God, comes great responsibility. For you to believe by faith for the things that you want in life, you're always dependent on God. You should be, at least. Even if you don't think you are, because in Him we live and move and have our being. You wouldn't have existence without Him. So it's a fundamental flaw to think that you somehow are independent of God. You're not independent of God. But He gives you free will. He gives you freedom in this life to make choices. Now, freedom of will does not mean that you can choose anything, because obviously there are things that you don't have access to right now. So there may be things you have to go to a certain level before you can reach those different things that you may want. But within the options you have a free choice to make for the good or for the bad. Many people go through life, even people who profess to be Christians, choosing the bad. They speak the bad. They think the bad. And they choose for themselves the bad. And then wonder why their lives are filled with problems and misery and failure and drama and illness and all these things. But they could only get those things because it's what they believed for. It's not God pushing these awful things upon them, making them suffer to teach them some lesson like the religionists like to babble. It is man choosing against themselves things that go against them, things that harm them, things that are wrong, things that are bad. Not living up to the highest standards and focusing on the things that are only those things that are good. Not being the people who are following Philippians 4:8 and only focusing on things of good report and that are lovely. So because of that choice, they are getting a life that is not what they want. And this can seem counterintuitive because obviously they want something different, but they're getting what they don't want. But that's because they haven't taken up the mentality to understand and know that their thought life, their words, and their actions are creating the life they have. And so you can want, like people want to win the lottery. They want a mansion. They want millions and billions of dollars. But they don't do anything to get toward any of those things. Imagine a person, how insane this would be. They're talking about they want to win the lottery. They want to win the lottery. And they never buy a lottery ticket. Now that's obviously a ridiculous example, but there are people out there living their lives like that. I want God to bless me. I want millions of dollars. I want this big mansion. I want all these fancy cars. And they're sitting around doing nothing. They're not even working. They're playing video games. They're living for entertainment. And then they wonder why their lives don't have the blessings that they want. But how could they receive them? It's like the farmer yelling at his field, "Why haven't you brought me a harvest?" when he hasn't planted a single seed. Now God wants you to be blessed. He wants you to be abundant. He wants you to have more. He wants you to live this abundant life in Jesus Christ. But you must choose it. And by choosing it, it doesn't mean just saying, mentally assenting to it and saying, yes, I want the good life, and then doing everything against that. Yes, you must say it, of course, but then you must keep saying it. Then you must take actions that align with that belief. Then you must have the thought life that aligns with that belief as well. Because those are all things, all choices of your will that lead to the result that you want. But if you just mentally acknowledge something and then go through your life mentally denying it, spiritually denying it, literally speaking words denying it, decreeing things against yourself, then how can you expect to get the end result that you want? And that's where many people are. They want one thing, but they speak another. They want one thing, but they meditate on another thing, the thing they don't want. They want one thing, but then they take actions that lead them nowhere and lead them no more closer to that end goal. And so you have to stand up as a person of wisdom and character, a person who knows the will of God, who knows God's blessing in their lives, who knows that God wants them to be abundant, wants them to be rich, wants them to be healthy, wants them to be happy, wants them to have all the fullness of the gospel of Christ manifesting their lives right here and now. And you do that by speaking, decreeing the things that you want, not the things you don't want. By thinking the things you want, not the things you don't want. By thinking and meditating on the goodness of God, not this problem over here and that bad thing in the world and those things you don't want. Taking actions that take you another step closer toward that end goal. If your goal is for good health and you're shoveling candy and sodas in your mouth all day, you haven't taken the step toward that goal. Matter of fact, you're taking many steps backwards. You can't go yelling and crying and whining to God, "Please heal me," when you're doing everything to keep yourself sick. So first, establish in your mind that you're going to do the right thing. Start eating a proper vegan diet. Start eating healthy, eating fresh fruits and vegetables. Cast off the junk food, the processed food, the junk sodas and drinks and all these energy drinks and all this garbage. And just start putting pure, good, healthy stuff that God intended your body to have in you. Start focusing on yourself being healthy, being the healed and the whole of the Lord. That by Jesus' stripes you are healed, and focus on those things. Don't focus on the illness, focus on the goodness of God and His healing blessing in your life. And as you speak, stop speaking about the illness. Stop speaking about the thing you don't want. How many people keep themselves sick, keep themselves broke, keep themselves depressed, keep themselves in drama because they keep speaking it, thus furthering it and propagating it even more? That's like putting fertilizer and minerals and vitamins on a crop that you are going to get even more of. You must focus on the things you want. You must speak the things you want. You must think the things you want. You must take actions towards the things you want. God's given you a free will, and He wants you to be blessed, and He wants you to be abundant, and He's given you all the tools. He's already given you those spiritual blessings in heavenly places, and He'll meet all your need according to His riches and glory. But you must take the proper actions, think the proper thoughts, speak the proper words to get that result. You can't keep going against it. You can't keep speaking forth things of the world and expect to get the blessings of heaven. My friend, I pray this was a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.